Chapter 27. The Great White Bat. The Void. Jameson awakens to pitch blackness. He bats his eyelids and opens his eyes wide, trying to see something, anything. He begins to panic.
Am I blind?
He tries to call out for help, but as he tries to yell, he hears no sound. He yells again. Nothing. He realises he can't even hear his own breathing.
Deaf too? I must have taken a harder knock to the head than I thought.
He quickly gets up onto his feet. At least, he thinks he is on his feet. He can't feel the platform or anything below his feet, as there appears to be no ground. He appears to be floating in a void. He pumps his arms and legs.
Am I moving? Am I even here? Real? Alive?
Jameson panics again.
Am I dead?
He sees a faint glimmer of light in the distance. He is relieved to realise that he is not blind after all. It appears to be moving closer to him.
Or am I approaching it?
But there is no whale this time. He is not in the void of the ocean. He can now recognise a large flaming fireball. As it draws closer, he identifies that the ball is actually the Earth.
The Earth is burning.
Suddenly, tribal drums can be heard, their beat pulsing and hypnotic. Jameson is again relieved that he is not altogether deaf either.
Where are the drums? The drummers?
He tries to call out again, but still no sound. No sounds of his own breathing. Images begin to quickly approach him, from out of the darkness, beyond the flames, and flash through him. Images of gruesome faces, masks, symbols. Jameson knows these images, knows them to be African.
How could I know this?
The masks are war masks, coated in resin and painted with bright colours. Red, purple, gold. He recognises the markings. Tribal.
What you do?
There is a prominent symbol. It too is African.
Suman?
He is convinced he knows its meaning, but can't seem to recall as he becomes more and more distracted by new images flashing by him. The dark silhouette of a man dancing around a fire pit in the most ridiculous and comedic fashion he has ever seen. Now drinking from a cup, Jameson can taste the foul liquid, now a psychedelic kaleidoscope of colours and shapes, so much so he instantly feels nauseous. He belches and vomits. His vomit floats off into space, and still the images come. Forest hunting, learning stealth and how to stalk, and now images of animal torture, butchery, flesh and blood. Jameson vomits again. More colours, a wash of gold, violet, deep reds and greens. Businessmen laughing and shaking hands. A woman's face.
Eddie? No. Melissa.
And now a thundering gallop. A powerful, dark, chocolate-coloured beast bearing down on him. A Tennessee walker. It snorts. Its eyes fixed on him, wild and fearful. Jameson can see a skeleton hand on the reins. The other bony hand, holding a large, gleaming scythe. Death, straddling the horse, is dressed in a police uniform. He swings his scythe down towards Jameson. More colours, pink and silver. The symbol, again. The still, dead eyes of the woman. The still, dead eyes of another woman. Tafari's mother. Blood. Jameson looks at his own hands. They are coated in blood. Animals, suffering and screaming. Now humans, writhing and screaming. Ace's victims. He tries to scream.
I'm sorry!
Jameson sees beyond the flames. There is someone on the other side of the fire. He moves around the fire and approaches. The figure of a man, naked, painted white, with his back turned, is twitching and moving in a peculiar bird-like manner. There is something sinister about this man. As Jameson gets closer, he can hear an awful ripping and tearing sound. The man extends his arm, his hand clutching a handful of hair, attached to a severed human head. A headless body collapses at the man's feet. Jameson is terrified. As the man slowly turns to face him, light from the flames flickers onto the severed head and illuminates a face. To Jameson's horror, it is his own face. He now peers at the man's face. It is Ace. Ace reaches up and digs clawed fingers into the skin under his chin. He begins to tear the skin from his own face. Jameson is so paralysed with fear that he cannot look away. Ace tears his face off to reveal another face underneath. A hideous face, Not human. Animal. Its lifeless, beady eyes and wrinkled face. It opens its mouth wide to reveal sharp fangs, and as it lets out an almighty screech, two large, ridged wings unfold and spread out from its back. It is a great white bat, man-sized. Jameson has never been so afraid. It screeches at him again and beats its huge, grotesque wings, flying towards him. Finally, Jameson awakens from the nightmare with a jolt and finds himself in darkness. For a moment, he thinks he is restarting his dream all over again. But as he gasps for a breath, other senses return. He can hear his breath. He can feel the cold concrete of the platform under him where he lies, and he can certainly feel the throbbing pain in his head. He looks around and can see the chamber beyond the darkness. He slowly gets up and walks back to the hammock. He lies back in it and rests for a moment. He hears someone approaching. Quickly, it is Penny.
Oh, thank goodness you're okay. God, you left in such a state.
She says, running to Jameson's side. She holds his hand in hers. She notices a large bruised bump on Jameson's forehead.
What happened to you?
She asks, concerned.
I'm okay. But I think I've been unconscious for a while.
Unconscious?
Yeah, your father, your real father, attacked me.
What?
Penny says, shaking her head, confused. Jameson begins to rise out of the hammock. He gets to his feet, but is unsteady.
Ooh.
Penny puts an arm around him for support.
Where is he?
Jameson asks, holding his aching head. For a moment, the image of his severed head from his dream flashes through his mind. He tries to shake the image away.
Are you okay?
Just another nightmare.
Do you want to tell me about it?
Jameson thinks for a moment.
Aye. Flames. The world in flames. So much pain. Horror. Oh man, your father. He looked like a bat.
Penny looks disturbed. Her eyes glisten as she fights back tears.
A bat?
She says softly. Jameson can see her distress. He cups a hand around Penny's face.
Yes, the great white bat.
Penny smiles.
Or, to be precise,
She begins.
Crepuscular Chiroptera.
She and Jameson say in unison. They smile at each other, but Jameson is confused as to how he would know such information.
Yes, but to my people.
Comes another voice. Jameson and Penny turn to see Tafari approaching.
Shakaka.
Jameson quickly bends down onto one knee and lowers his head, but then looks deeply bewildered by his response.
Sorry about that.
He says, slowly and sheepishly, rising back up.
Not sure what happened there. Some kind of reflex action?
Tafari smiles warmly.
I used to love this game.
Game? What game?
Tafari smiles a wicked grin at his sister. Penny just rolls her eyes. Tafari turns to Jameson.
Shakaka.
He says. Jameson again bends onto one knee.
Hey!
He protests, quickly getting back up, shooting Tafari a miffed expression. Jameson raises an eyebrow as he watches Tafari open his mouth to repeat the word.
Shitake.
Jameson bows again. He looks up, bemused that he has been duped. Penny and Tafari just giggle.
I said shiitake. You are bowing to a mushroom?
Tafari laughs. Jameson slowly rises up with a wry smile.
Very funny. I'm not even sure why I'm bowing in the first place.
Jameson adds, clearly confused. Tafari's smile quickly fades away. He looks to his sister. Penny's smile fades too. She looks at her brother with a lost, helpless expression.
I used to play that game with my father.
Tafari says, gazing at Penny. She gently shakes her head at Tafari, but he is resolute. He turns to Jameson.
But I do not do much with my father anymore. Not since you showed up.
Jameson is affronted.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
Tafari turns away.
Nothing. Never mind.
Listen, if this is about the mission in Africa, I thought we had...
Forget I said anything.
There is a quiet lull. The reference to Africa recalls the symbol from Jameson's dream to the forefront of his mind.
Perhaps you could answer something for me?
Tafari says nothing.
Sesawu Suban?
Tafari turns to him, surprised.
Sesobu Suban?
Yes, a symbol. Came to me in a dream. Maybe it's something I saw during our recent trip to Africa, but somehow I know the symbol's name. It's just the meaning I don't get.
To my people, the Wachati, Sesowu Suban, is the symbol of life transformation. It is comprised of two separate Adinkra symbols. The first is the morning star, which can mean a new start to the day, a new beginning. This is placed inside the second symbol of the wheel, representing rotation or independent movement.
Jameson can feel that he is on the edge of a major discovery. The symbol and his dream bringing him closer to a truth that gives more context to Ace's transformation. The character change, the man to the devil. The image of Ace tearing his face off to reveal the bat or the monster underneath. Ace's last words claw their way across Jameson's mind.
You can't stop me winning this war. No one can.
Jameson can only guess what Ace has planned next.
I need to find Ace. He's planning something. Something big.
Tafari just drops his head. Disappointed.
Something big?
Penny asks, shocked.
How do you top poisoning the world's most powerful and influential leaders in the world?
Is this all a game to you both?
Penny and Jameson are both stunned into silence by Tafari's outburst.
On to the next mission, shall we? Bloody James Bond secret agent terrorist vigilantes to the rescue. What mischief can we get up to next? Playing these games.
Tafari turns to Jameson.
I loved you for it. Always the games and fun with you. You would not have it any other way. And after the deep sadness of my mother's death, only you could make me smile again.
Tafari.
Penny tries to interject.
No, Penny. You are sharing the game. You are happy to play along.
Jameson smiles, somewhat relieved. He turns to Penny.
I'm assuming our episode in the restaurant was part of the game too?
Penny opens her mouth to explain, but she is cut off by Tafari.
I miss my father. I need him still, especially in these uncertain times.
Tafari looks intensely into Jameson's eyes.
Where is my father?
Tafari, aren't you listening to me? I'm looking for him too. Nobody wants to find him more than me. Believe me.
Tafari laughs for a split second, but it soon sounds like contempt. He nods at Jameson.
Still playing the game,
he says.
What game? That I'm an undercover FBI agent? That I'm not really David Archer? I think we're all beyond that pretense by now. But listen, I'm on your side. I don't want to harm any of you. But I am certain that Ace is planning something so diabolical that by his own words, we'll win this war.
Jameson and Tafari turn to see Penny, beaming a huge smile.
I can't help it. It's exciting.
This is serious.
That is why I came in here.
Tafari says, turning to Jameson.
To find you. To tell you. The game? It has just gotten a whole lot more serious. And dangerous. For us all.
Penny steps forward.
Tafari, what are you talking about?
The Prime Minister of England, David Cameron, is dead.
Penny gasps. Jameson is mortified.
Yes. Let that sink in.
Tafari says, addressing them both.
And many more from the summit are in critical condition. Obama might not even make it through the night. Now, ask yourself. The world has now become more anarchical. We are seeing the spread of vigilante-style cleansing from cells across the world. The public are rebelling and protesting like never before, taking to the streets. People are fighting for compassion and justice, some for their own agendas, and some for their very lives. As the existing powers that be gather their armies, are you so sure that this is the revolution that you are willfully striving for?
Jameson pulls his head out of his hands.
I have to find Ace,
he blurts, and quickly takes off for the exit. Jameson can faintly hear an argument beginning between Penny and Tafari from behind him as he struts.
Oh, well done, Tafari. Delicately handled once again.
I thought you said you were making progress with him.
I was, but You rushing him into truth is like pushing him in front of a moving bus.
And you think that indulging him is not doing him any harm?
But his own thoughts begin to talk over them.
Well, they're obviously having a domestic sibling rivalry thing. Obviously concerned about their father. But there's no time for petty squabbling. I must find Ace. I have to stop him before he strikes again. This ends tonight. There will be no more bloodshed. There will be no more blood on my hands. No more killing. Tonight I end this. This isn't about my job, the FBI, anymore. It is bigger and beyond me and Ace now. This is about right and wrong. Truth. True justice. The pieces are slotting together, and the picture is becoming clearer. I know I can reason with Ace. Once I've explained it all, the troubled and turbulent events that have led to this juncture in his life, once I've pointed out the overriding contradiction of the devil, he'll understand. He has to. I must find him.
Jameson tears out of the chamber and takes the tunnel that will lead him to the main platform.
What I need
He tells himself with a grin.
is an ace to find an ace.